Hello, fourth grade. So I'm going to show you a tutorial of how you can access the Think Central program on your Launchpad. Now notice this is my own Launchpad. This is the teacher view of a Launchpad. So let's go ahead and start by going to www.neisd.net. You should always start your day by going straight here, no shortcuts. Because if you go right here to my Bitmoji, you can try to look at some of the options I have with Google, and you can take a shortcut. I just wouldn't recommend it because you won't have access to everything. So go to Launchpad and keep in mind that your username should be the first letter of your first name and your entire last name, along with the last four digits of your student ID number, along with stu.neisd.net, and your password is going to be your student ID number. If you do not happen to know your username and password to access Launchpad, please contact your teacher. So here, now that I'm on mine, we're going to go to Math. And on the student view, I'm pretty sure that the math will pretty much have the same thing, just Think Central. You'll have that. So I'm going to click on it. Now, the teacher view is extremely different from a student view, so don't get concerned when you notice that your view is very different from mine. But you will see this little thing that's moving, this little arrow is called my cursor. So all I do to make that cursor move is just go to my touchpad, my mouse, and make it move. So right here in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, when you get to Think Central from the Student Launchpad, you should be able to see things to do. And what that means is your teacher should have assigned you something to do within Think Central. And one of the very first assignments that we're going to do is called Place Value and Patterns. I'm going to click on mine. Now I'm going to show you here. Let me see if I can do that. Do you see where it says Personal Math Trainer, Lesson 1.1 Homework? Okay, you'll always get that view. It'll let you know what lesson you're on, and notice here, it'll also indicate what problem you're on. We're going to start with the very first problem. It says complete the sentence. 100 is 10 times as much as, well, let me think. I think that would be 100 is 10 times as much as 10. Okay, remember, it's saying 100 is greater, 10 times greater. I'm going to check my answer, and I'm going to show you how you can find that. You see where it says check answer. Okay, right? Let's see if it's right. Well done. Yay. So let's pretend that instead we didn't really know what we were supposed to do for that problem. And you can see my little hand right here. I'm on my mouse. It says view example. And it gives you a place value chart, and it's encouraging you to look over to the right. Every time you look over to the right one in place value, it's going to be a tenth of the place value to the left. And as you move left on place value, it will be 10 times greater than the place on the right. So it's kind of opposite thinking. If that sounds confusing to you, it's totally fine. We're still learning, and we'll learn more as time goes on. So here, if you didn't like the view example, you can always view step by step. And the step-by-step is really good for those of you who want some clarification and want to know what to do for every single step. You want to know if you're doing it right. This is what you do. Choose step-by-step. And it's saying here you can use your understanding of place value patterns in a place value chart to write numbers that are 10 times as much as any given number. So they have 100 right here, saying 10 times as much as what? Well, we want to know what's in the tens place. Wouldn't that just be 10 times as much as 10? Let's check. Yay! All right, and it gave us a little check mark at the right here. Since it didn't give us a next icon right here, that means that we could probably go on to the next problem. And I'm going to move it down so you can see. Go to next. Okay, and I am going to keep moving on and on. All right, right here, I'm going to show you what I just did. Did you guys notice that we just skipped number 2? Yeah, probably. So I'm going to move it so you can see. Okay, number 2 is going to be blue, and blue means, well, you didn't actually solve the problem or type in an answer. that's pretty great. So that's going to indicate to you, oh, I better go back to the second problem and type something in. So make sure before you submit anything that they're all white. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just type a number. I'm not thinking right now. I'm just going to move on to the next question. And I'm just typing numbers in. Okay, really think about this though when you're doing it yourself. Okay, let me go next. Notice they're all white right here. And notice, look, there's no check mark. What does that tell you? That might mean that you need to go back and look and see if you're right. Okay, maybe it indicates, oh, maybe we didn't get that one right. Okay, here's 5, 10, and I'm just going to go to next because there's one particular problem that I want to show you. And guys, all I'm doing is just typing in random numbers. You would never do that for your teacher, would you? I'm just doing it for this short video, okay? To show you how you work things out here. This is the problem I wanted to show you here, okay? Now, this is problem number 7, okay? How do I know that? Because it's white and it's the problem that we're currently on. So here it says Mark and Robin use base 10 blocks to show that 900 is 100 times as much as 9. Whose model makes sense and whose model is nonsense, okay? This looks like it might be Mark's model. And this right here, look what it says, might be Robin's model. And you might need to go back to the question here, all right? This is going to take a lot of steps. I don't know if you can see it, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different steps and 7 different things you're going to have to type in. Okay, if you're not overwhelmed, hey, give yourself a pat on the back. If that sounds a little tricky, which I think it probably is for most people, you want to choose math on the spot. I love math on the spot because a lot of those videos include Professor Berger. So notice all I did was just click on math on the spot video. And what I can do is click on the side arrow for play and listen to him. And he's going to explain a very, very similar problem to the one that was just presented in Think Central. He always wears a really cool tie, by the way, and he makes it interesting. But we're going to pretend we just watched everything right here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Thank you, Professor Berger. At the top, and I'll move it up here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, here we are. You got 2 options. Do you see where I'm at? You can go minimize it. That means, oh, you know what? I might want to go back to that video later, and then you can go back to it. But if you remembered it and you feel good about it, just click on the X. And if you click on the X, closes it out, and it takes you right back to where we are now, which is still in Personal Math Trainer. All right, now let's just pretend that we know exactly what we're doing here. This makes sense, this doesn't make sense, and you type in what you think each part is going to be, okay? Take some time to think about it. Now remember, mine's gonna turn white, or I'm sorry, blue, because I didn't finish the problem and didn't click it all. So always look up here. It'll indicate to you if you need more time or if there's a problem that you missed, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead, go back to number 8, or 7, I'm sorry. Okay, makes sense. I'm going to say it doesn't make sense because it really doesn't. And he is showing 90. I don't know if you noticed that. He's showing 90 instead of 9. Okay, so 900 is 10 times as much as 90. And hers, Robin's, is showing that 900 is actually 100 times as much as 9, not 90. And if you look at the question, which one's answering the question? Well, we want to know which one's 100 times as much as 9. That should be Robin's. So we can go back here and change our answer. It's extremely finicky. Finicky means picky. You got to have every little step written correctly. Okay? It says try again. Flats are 10 times as much as longs and 100 times as much as small cubes. Okay? So I might have to go back and figure out what my error was. Okay, but I'm not going to take the time to go back and do that right now. But notice number 7 is a little bit off. Okay, and it even indicates that, ooh, you might want to go back and look at that again because it even gives you a little indicator of a little yellow. And number 8, I'm just going to solve this one and just put A. Notice all I did was just click on A, not thinking. You're going to take the time to actually work it out. I'm going to put C here. Remember, look, all I'm doing is just clicking. We're pretending that I've taken the time to go over all of these, right? And at the bottom, what it should encourage you to do, it should say, instead of just check answer, it probably will encourage you to check your answer, but after check answer, right next to it, it should say something like submit. And submit means you just want to make sure that you're turning it in so your teacher can see how you actually did on it. Okay, there's a couple of other buttons I wanted to show you real quick too. One's textbook. If you wanted to see what it would look like in a textbook, click on it. And if you used Go Math last year, your prior grade, this will look very familiar to you. Okay, you don't have to do those. You do not have to do those. It's just showing you some more information. You never really want to print an assignment or print, not unless your teacher has specifically told you to do that. If you want to know exactly what you're learning, it gives you a little standard, and I'll show you. The student applies mathematical process to compare and order whole numbers, and it's telling you about place value positions. Okay, just a little more information for you if you need to. And just keep in mind, next to check answer, you should be able to see a submit or turn in button right here. Make sure that you've done that after you've checked your work. I hope this short tutorial has helped you. You guys totally got this. Your 4th grade teacher believes in you. I believe in you. Mrs. Kelly believes in you. We're going to do this together. So let your teacher know if you have any questions. Thank you.